What's up, y'all?
Man,
Welcome back to another episode of
some young guys.
That's right. I'm Carlos,
I'm Lee Mack.
and today one of the topics we want to talk about is going to be
Weddings? Wedding.
No, yeah, weddings. No, but anyways, how you been, man? What you been doing this weekend or this week?
This week, I don't know if I talked about it last time, but last week I took my parents to the shooting range. That was pretty fun. They were pretty inexperienced with shooting, and that was just unacceptable to me because, my dad's got to protect my mom and sisters, and they live a little over 2 hours away from me, so I can't be there all the time. Shit goes down. My stepdad's got to be there to protect. And, so I had to make sure they knew what they were doing. I had some weapons handling experience. They were a little resistant at first because they were like, it's not that big a deal. A gun's a gun. It's not that difficult, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. And we went, and they were like, okay, yeah, you were right. We we needed this.
No, definitely. Yeah, a lot of people think it's like in the movies. You start blasting, and you're going to hit a target.
No.
I learned that, too, the first time I went shooting. That thing goes quick. Like, you fill the clip, had 12 rounds in there. And then
or 10 if you're in California.
Or 10, yeah. I mean, yeah. So, you start shooting, and again, I don't know anything about guns, but you start shooting, and then by the time you think you're on the third one, you're like, oh shit, that's it. And my buddy's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, bullets are expensive, and they get expensive.
That too. Yeah, practicing is not cheap, but it's worth it because if you need it, you'll be glad you had it, and you'll be even more glad that you had some practice.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely important to know how to handle your gun and everything. And, we are blessed in America to have that right.
Yeah. No, I don't think there are very many, if any, countries that have a similar. No other countries have it written into their constitution where it's a God-given right. That's the point of the Constitution. We have rights that are given by God, and the government is supposed to protect those rights. And if they stop protecting those rights, that's a tyrannical government, and then we are obligated to overthrow our government, which most people don't understand or respect. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Constitution is just a piece of paper. If the people that piece of paper was written for, if those people don't respect that piece of paper, if they don't believe in the values written on that piece of paper, then it really is just a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so important that people understand what their rights are, what the Constitution means. They need to be able to really understand the Constitution to really still function as America.
Let me ask you this. How about, why do you think there's such a widespread ignorance when it comes to the Constitution?
Because I think the powers that be don't want us to understand what our rights are.
Okay.
That's really what I think it is.
I think so, too. I also believe that it's like, like you're saying, yes, but broken down to more specific areas would be like, the communities that might not understand what the Constitution is, public school systems, how there's not really much of an importance, and how many, the attention span of generations in today's day, they don't really care for it. You ask them, hey, what do you think? They just start kind of going off emotions. They don't even care about the facts, so they don't care about what's right and what's wrong. It's just about, this person said this, that's kind of true, and they go off emotions, and they want all these laws to be made off emotions, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
They don't understand how difficult it was to form a government for the people, by the people. It took so much. It took literally blood, tears, and sweat, and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
People don't seem to understand what it is.
We fought a pretty bloody war over our freedom from a country that was not trying to let us have freedom. Yes, obviously there was still slavery back in that time. There were all kinds of different things that are frowned upon today, and rightfully so. There's also a lot that our government has done even since then, whether it was the civil rights movement or, the FBI killing Martin Luther King, the CIA killing JFK, all the different interest groups that have made it so difficult for Americans to exercise their freedoms today. That being said, we've made a lot of progress in terms of gun rights. There have been, I think, I don't know, 5 or 6 plus states that have legalized constitutional carry, which just means you don't have to get a license at all to carry your firearm.
Oh, shit.
You can concealed carry it. You can open carry it. You can do whatever. Nevada's an open carry state. You can carry open. I'm pretty sure the same is in Oregon. A few other states that are open carry, but you still have to get a license to concealed carry. But there are some states that are constitutional carry. I'm pretty sure Texas is definitely one of them. A few other states. I can't remember which states are which as far as which ones have constitutional carry, but that's a big thing.
I like that though.
Yeah,
It's like, it leaves everyone guessing. Like, you never know.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the best way to do it is like, if I don't know whether or not you are carrying, then the chances of me attacking you are much lower. If I have every reason to believe that you might be packing, I'm probably not going to assault you in any way, even if I have my own gun. Because who knows, maybe you're more trained than I am, and you're going to react fast and take me out because I'm an idiot.
But that's like the last point you want
Obviously,
to get to.
you never want to get to that point, but having the ability to do that, to defend yourself against any threat, because a gun is the ultimate equalizer. Like, it doesn't matter how strong you are, what kind of martial arts you might know. It doesn't matter if you also have a gun. If I have a gun and I shoot first, you're probably dead. Like, that's really what it is.
Or slowly die in the ICU. But
Or that. Yeah, so having gun rights is very important. Most people don't understand why we have gun rights. Most people think that the government is there to give us our rights. No, the government is there to protect our rights. Not, yeah.
So on that topic, what amendment do you think that's a lot more important? Like, what do you, for you?
So I think the most important amendment, it's really hard to say because the First Amendment and the Second Amendment go hand in hand. You can't really have the First Amendment without the Second Amendment. Because you have to be able to say what you think and believe and communicate your values. And the only thing that really protects the First Amendment is the Second Amendment.
Yeah, because if you don't like kind of comprehend what I'm trying to tell you, and you try to like kind of beat me for it,
really, you see this in communist states, socialist states throughout history. Is they take away gun rights first, and then they take away your freedom of speech. So if you speak out against the government that's doing all of these atrocities, they take you out, and they can only take you out if you don't have the ability, the means to defend yourself from a government that has weapons.
Exactly.
Because when the government takes your guns, it's really just that they're making it so they are the only ones that have guns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel like. I feel like your freedom of speech is the most important one. Like, your freedom to speak about your own opinions, your own beliefs, and protect those that don't have a voice, And then 2 is like, if they come after you for trying to speak up for someone or defend someone or something, that's the only way of protection. And obviously they're not going to come for you if you have some way or form of having an organization or group, which we consider what, military or something?
Militia.
Militia.
And a militia could be something as simple as it's your family, and you guys all live on a compound or something like that.
Exactly.
And you guys have your guns. It's you, your family. You guys grow your own food. You're self-sufficient. That's another thing. The government does not want you to be self-sufficient. They want you to have to rely upon them.
Yeah.
Because that guarantees an income for themselves as far as taxes go.
I thought about this too. They're like, a lot of times you're like, but what's the point? Like, they have so much power against you. Yes. But if they were to show what happened to a form of group standing up to the government because of something that's obviously not okay for the people, that's just going to give ideas and power to the people as well. And then they're going to turn against their own government because that's like, hey, they were fighting for this against our own government. Our government killed them. That's totally not fair. And they're totally trying to cover something up. So we're definitely going to like protest and kind of go outrage on you guys as well.
If you want to see some examples of American history, things that have happened in the U.S., look up. There was the Tulsa massacre. That was the KKK went into a black community that was like they were trying to be completely self-sufficient. It was a predominantly black town, Tulsa, Oklahoma, back, I don't remember exactly when. I'm bad with the dates. But there was a massacre against them, and it was the KKK had guns, and most of the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma did not have guns. Another example of the government taking out people that were just trying to be self-sufficient. And, you know, they were a little bit culty. Was Waco, Texas. That was it was like an offshoot of Christianity or Mormonism. I can't remember exactly what, but it was a cult. It was definitely a cult, but they weren't violent. They were just, you know, living on their own, and they had families there, all kinds of stuff. And the ATF and the FBI came in and massacred all of them, women and children alike. Then there was Ruby Ridge, that was back in, I think that was in Texas. And it was a man had a sawed-off shotgun, which I'm fairly certain, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that a sawed-off shotgun is considered a weapon of mass destruction, which is
Jesus
insane.
Christ.
It's insane because it's just a shotgun with a shorter barrel. But regardless, dude had a sawed-off shotgun on his property. He wasn't threatening anyone. He was not a violent person, but he had this sawed-off shotgun. The ATF came to raid his property. They shot his dog. His son, seeing this random person who he didn't know was an ATF agent, this man who lived on the property with his family, the son saw this random guy shoot his dog. The kid shot back at the ATF member who wasn't identified as an ATF member. It was just some random guy that shot his dog.
Full John Wick on him.
Yeah, like the kid shot at the ATF guys. The ATF guys shot at the kid. Ended up killing the wife while she was shot the wife while she was holding their 6-month-old child, killed the kid. It was just a massacre. It was terrible. But Ruby Ridge, Waco, Texas, Tulsa, Oklahoma. There are a couple other ones. There's one where a group of guys in the military came home from war. I think this was shortly after World War II, maybe even might have been Vietnam. Can't remember exactly. But basically they came home from the war and they found that their local government was being extremely tyrannical in their town. And these soldiers, these veterans, took over the local government and, you know, ousted all of these corrupt politicians and bureaucrats that were being extremely tyrannical in their town.
Yeah.
And there's countless examples of things like that happening where there were showdowns between law enforcement and American citizens over, you know, American citizens defending their rights and then winning or losing. And, you know, the story goes down in history, but it's not talked about very much because the government doesn't want you to defend yourself from the government.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know all this history either. That's why they kind of going a little bit off the spectrum here of, you know, all political and stuff. Kind of going a little, I wouldn't say conspiracy, but just kind of something you kind of see is like the pollution, how they kind of control our minds. Like, the way that, you know, you're saturated on social media. You know, a lot of times people think is like, oh, do you think the government is, you know, not wanting us? No, they put everything out there in light. They're telling you and they're showing you. But when's the last time you flip the channel to see CSN P, which is like the political news?
CSNBC.
No. It's another one.
CNN.
It's CSSP or something. It's like where the Congress gets together and votes and stuff. It's like that boring channel when you were a kid that you were like put it on that way you can connect your like 64 or something or Nintendo. Like it's like that channel 3 or channel
C-SPAN?
2. Is it C-SPAN?
I don't know.
It's like it's that channel where like the congressmen get together and they're talking about laws or like things they want to pass or not pass. You know, like, you know, either the House of Representatives, all of them get together. And they're all like kind of just talking, and it's a bunch of old people, and they like for a kid, it's boring. For teenage kid, boring. Like it's something you would
Even adults, it's boring.
Yeah, like go read the Constitution as an adult. Like maybe you'll be like interested in the first couple, like, you know, couple paragraphs, but after like the 7th or 10th, you know, one, you're gonna be like,
yeah, you're not gonna want to keep reading. But I mean, you have to develop your attention span to be able to educate yourself and understand your history, understand what your rights are, understand what you as a person are, because the powers that be, they want to have more control over you, and that's not good. You don't want anyone to control you other than yourself.
And they're winning.
And they're winning. They are currently winning. I think that things are changing in our favor. I'm not as, you know, black-pilled as a lot of people are. I think that things are going to get worse before they get better, but I think that things are going to get better. I don't think the end is nigh.
Right. Like I like to look at it as in like what has been going on in the past 10 years in the United States. Like, yeah, right now it might have a downfall, but 10 years ago we also had downfall, but we
Yeah.
recovered and we always get better. But we'll see how it goes, in these next couple generations. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for it. But other than that, like, like I was saying about social media, we're like just saturated, infested with like constant post, and like, your attention span isn't as much more broad anymore, just because of how fast everything is. Like, TikTok is like within what, 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And if it doesn't catch your attention within those like 5 seconds, gone.
Yeah, I stay away from TikTok.
It's hard for me.
I'm on Instagram a lot more than I should be, honestly, and it's not much better than TikTok. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, the information, like everything that you consume, is you got to consider information as a diet in the same way that food is a diet. Like there's an information diet. You're either consuming the Kardashians, which is brain cancer. That's what I call it personally. Reality TV, Kardashians, all that stuff. There's not much value, if any value. Like you really have to scrape the bottom of the barrel of what the Kardashians offer to receive any form of value whatsoever, other than just pure entertainment value, which is mind-numbing entertainment. There's a lot more entertainment out there that you might actually learn something and benefit from beyond just being entertained.
You're right. You're definitely right, dude. And you know what's something funny? I hate to say this, but I do give them the benefit of this, that their shit is attention grabbing.
Yeah, I mean, it's designed to be attention grabbing.
It is so well constructed that it will consume your mind like that.
Yeah,
I sit around.
Humans thrive off of drama.
Right?
Yeah, it's just drama.
I sit around with my girl sometimes. She be watching that, let her watch her own shit, whatever. I try to, but she falls asleep too every time I try to put like some educational bullshit or
Let her sleep then.
And we like there'll be times when I kind of like let her put on her own show and I watch it with her, just to be nice. And we watching like Building Beverly Hills or something about real estate, and then it's a bunch of girls working for one man, and then like they're all freaking bougied out, like fake boobs and all this and that, and then they'll be arguing about something, and I'm like, wait, what did that bitch say? And I was like, and at that moment I was like, what the fuck? I'm like deep into this too, dude.
You know what? We're gonna tie this back into what you were talking about earlier about weddings. Why do you think it is that people are thriving off of drama like this? Why do you think it is that these bougie ass girls with all these, lip injections, these fake boobs, the BBLs, all of this, why do you think it is that is so popular nowadays?
I'm gonna say just because of what we watch, what we see on social media, all that projection, music videos.
That is part of it. But where do you think all that starts?
No idea.
Destruction of values. I think that the destruction of values, and predominantly family values, I think we had something a long time. I think it was Ronald Reagan that passed this. I can't remember exactly. It was either Carter or Reagan, but it was no-fault divorce, which essentially trivializes marriage, because if you can get divorced for any reason whatsoever, not just because you were being abused or because of a bunch of different, like you were cheated on or whatever, those are valid reasons to get divorced. If you were cheated on or you're being actively abused, those are definitely good reasons to get divorced. I also do think that you can work through those issues. I think that it is possible to, go to therapy and figure out your problems and work through those types of things if the abuse stops and if the cheating stops. Those are definitely things that you can work through in a marriage. However, I also understand getting divorced because of those issues. However, I think in having no-fault divorce, it destroys the intent of marriage. And the intent of marriage in the first place is to create a family structure and reinforce values so that the next generation can have those values and be benefits to society. And ever since no-fault divorce, honestly, it's been a downhill struggle of families staying together. I mean, there's no-fault divorce. There's the welfare state that has destroyed black families, minority families in general, and is now starting to really affect white families as well. It's a huge problem, and I think that all of the BBLs, the lip injections, all that BS, because honestly, men don't want a girl with a BBL for the most part.
don't find any of that attractive. Like
I high key do not find any of that attractive.
like
low key,
no,
fuck low key.
no,
High key, that
no.
shit is ugly. It's unattractive, and
not even high key. It's just key. Like,
yes, whatever that means. Yes,
ass, bro.
it's just so unattractive. Girls are doing that for each other, for themselves. Like they want to have a bigger butt than the other girl, or they want to have as big a butt as Kim Kardashian. And like that's. If they had dads that were talking some sense into them, that were masculine too, because like you could have a dad that's just totally emasculated and does whatever mom wants or does whatever the kids want, and the kids run and walk all over the dad, and then still have you end up with the same issue of not even having a dad. Like you have to have, because a masculine father provides structure to a family, and if you run a business, if you have a household whatsoever, like you can't have a household, you can't have a business, you can't have society without some level of structure. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit oppressive to have some structure, because you're not going to be able to do some certain things that you want to do that are not good for you. Mm-hmm. If a child wants to eat candy all day and no vegetables, no healthy foods whatsoever, they're going to get fat, obese, and probably die early because they haven't had the foods that they need. You're laughing, but it's true.
No,
you're laughing right. Because it's true. And that child is going to be pissed off when you tell him that he can't have any more candy. He or she can't have any more candy, can't have all the junk food that they want to eat. They can't have a fifth soda today because they haven't had any water. Like, that child is not going to enjoy that. They're going to be pissed at you. But you as the parent know that that's not good for the child.
Exactly.
Now, I would say not most, but a lot of parents nowadays just let their children do whatever the hell they want. And that's part of the problem that we have today. We have all these children that are now of age to be adults. I think they're still children that are
Well, yes and no. I feel like, yeah, you're right. I feel like it's like they start at a young age to get everything they want. And then it's like, oh, fuck, they're older now. Now I have more responsibility because now they're out. They're able to go out and about now. Okay, hey, you can't do that. And then they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, why not? And then they're going to be really rebellious against you because
they are underdeveloped adults.
Exactly.
Because they did not grow up with any structure. And that's what I mean by the family structure that is destroyed by not having an intact marriage. Mm-hmm. Like when two people come together to get married, they enter a contract to develop together as people. What marriage is supposed to be is till death do us part. That's really what the marriage is supposed to be. That is long gone. That is in mainstream culture, at least. That's what my marriage eventually, when I do get married at some point in the future, we'll see if that happens. I don't know. We might have a lot of civil unrest. I might not.
Praying
honestly,
for you, bro.
Honestly, I don't know if I would involve the state in getting married. I don't know if I would do a contract, a licensed contract with the state to get married. I think I might do it the old-fashioned way before we had a government that you had to go and find a priest to go through to get married. It might just be, me and we have a ceremony, of course. It'll look like just any old marriage, but it's just not going to be through the state because, first off, like, no-fault divorce just makes marriage trivial anyway. So marriage is supposed to be something between man and woman, and from my perspective, because I'm religious, it's supposed to be man and woman under God. So it's God, man and woman, they're oriented towards God and developing the life that God wants us to develop, which is children and being productive, giving back to the community, giving back to the world, because the world gave so much to us. The world gave us life. God gave us life. And so we're giving back to God by giving to other people that have been born after us. That's kind of how I see it.
No, I agree. Actually, my lady and I have this argument about, say, oh, when we get married, blah, 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 we can just go and get married, like, down at this little chapel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why we got to involve the government for? Like, why they got to know our business? Like, why don't we just go to church, get married there, and then, like, well, you need a marriage certificate before you can even present that to the church. And I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you have to go through the government first, take it to the church, then the church can get you married. You can't go to the church first and then go to the government. And I'm like, well, that's That's against my religion. And then she's like, hey, well, too bad. It doesn't work that way. And I was like, guess we ain't getting married.
Like, first off, why do so many people love the government more than they love themselves, their friends, their family, the God? Like, why do so many people think it's absolutely necessary to involve the government or to abide by what the government says you need to abide by? Because the government ain't shit but a group of people that came together and said these are what the rules are. And, you know, if the rules are tyrannical and corrupt and evil, then why should we follow those rules?
Exactly. But we have to, or else either you get shot. I mean, they kill you, they throw you in jail, or you have to pay.
You have to follow the rules. You could just not tell anyone too. So, I mean, like, just do you, boo.
All right, federal president, here I come. Just kidding. No.
Shit, bro.
Fuck no, thank you.
You know, follow the laws. Don't kill people. Like, don't be an evil person, or like, I'm not promoting anarchy by any means, but if a government is creating evil laws and enforcing evil laws, then would not you be also considered evil by following evil laws?
Damn, that was deep. It's like if the blind love the blind, the whole world would be blind.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
That's wild. That's true. Facts.
Yeah.
Bro got political riz. No, but
I don't know if that's really a good term. I don't know if I like that. Political riz? What the fuck?
No, but going back to the wedding thing, you know, this past weekend I went to a wedding, and then it just made me realize again how important and how valuable love and congregation and just the whole family getting together from each side, you know, different cultures coming together, and then just, you know, getting together, revisiting, you know, family that's been, you know, distant, you know, because their family came all the way from Washington down here. And then, you know, family that's already been here, got to see all the cousins and the aunts again. Like, oh my God, like, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then they're all telling me, it's like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to ask her to get married, you know? And it's like, damn, the pressure's there, you know? And then, like, after seeing this whole ceremony, and then like the special words they told themselves and all this and that, and, you know, thankful for all the family members that were able to make it. And it was raining too to make it worse.
Actually, so it's a superstition that if you get married while it's raining, if it rains on your wedding ceremony, that's actually a good omen, basically, because it means that if you can get married on a rainy day, then no rainy days can separate your marriage.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard about that. I thought it was just good luck, but
that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, there's like thunder, there was like rain and all this shit, and I was like, and then people were like, oh my god, and I was like, man, this is beautiful. It's like the fact that we're all just sitting here, watching this marriage go down in pouring rain, not giving a damn about the rain, but just here for them. That's just amazing. No one said like, oh my God, they walked away. No one covered themselves. Like, the umbrellas were down and everything, like respecting the two couples that were up there. And then it just, for me, it made me realize like, damn, like, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
You know, everyone, there was a saying I used to say. I told this to one of my good friends from back home. I told them, everyone can get married, but no one can be a husband. But not everyone can be a husband.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get married.
Yeah, it's easy to get
married.
It's
easy to knock someone up. It's easy to initiate something. It's not always easy to carry it through.
Yeah, and I mean, those words are facts, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like you can get married with someone, you can date someone, but it takes time to become a husband. It takes time to be that man that you're gonna be for that woman. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just beautiful when you're up there. And I told my lady, I'm like, bro, the day we get, I'm such a person that holds back in tears or like holds back emotion when I'm like just in my regular life and shit, you know. I try to be very manly about it, you know, that because, you know, that's who I am. But I know for a fact the day that I'm standing up there and I see my woman coming down that walkway, I'm gonna
so many tears of joy,
tearing up so hard, bro.
I honestly, I think that's probably gonna be the same for me. Definitely when my kids are born.
Oh,
I already know, like like I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I ain't even got a girl right now, but I've thought about it so much because I want kids so bad at some point. Obviously, I want to make sure that I'm well established so that it's responsible when I bring kids into the world, because I was brought in under circumstances that were not ideal myself. So I would like to make the circumstances as close to ideal as possible before I have kids.
Yeah.
That being said, I have thought about it, and I don't want to say fantasized about it, but I know that like when I have kids, those kids are everything, and God help anyone that threatens my kids.
No.
Like
Or you're
Liam
married.
Neeson from Taken on those motherfuckers. if anything goes down, it's Liam Neeson, it's John Wick. It's like everyone, no one will be spared. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm gonna just leave it there. I'll do terrible things to people that harm my children.
Oh yeah.
Or my wife, but primarily my children.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna love my wife, but my kids definitely will come first. And that's really like a primal instinct that you have to have, like to be a good parent. You have to have that instinct. If you don't have that instinct, it's almost like there's something wrong with you. Like if you don't care enough about your kids that you would go to hell and back to save them or to help them or to keep them from being, held back by just evil itself. I mean, like if someone's abusing your kids, if someone's like being harsh, like a football coach or someone is being harsh, but it's developing your kids, that's one thing. But if someone is just being flat out evil or just, harming them in any sort of way that
has no benefit.
That has no benefit other than for their own sadistic sake, then yeah, they're gonna be catching some heat.
Let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah. Let's talk real fast. What's
going on?
No, weddings are beautiful. Family is beautiful. We need more people that want family and cherish family and value family, because at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what the world is going through. Like, if the world is falling apart and you're barely struggling to eat, it's the people around you and the love that you have for those people that really gets you through the day. That's what gives you meaning. Like, if we have nothing, I know that me fighting for the survival of my friends, family, loved ones, that's really what is going to get me through to the next day.
Exactly.
Knowing that I have people relying on me and I want to see them see another day. I want to see another day. I want to make sure that everyone that I love and care about is provided for. That's really what's going to be the thing that gets you up in the morning and keeps you fighting. And that's what gets me up in the morning now. Like, I'm trying to build the life that I want to have for my family.
Yeah, same. Like me taking extra classes in the summer instead of enjoying my summer. Instead of being like, oh, let's go out, let's go do this. I'm taking like 3 classes right now.
Trying to party and bullshit.
No.
Most people are trying to party and bullshit. And
I tell you this right now, bro. Like if you're like going to college.
Biggie Smalls quote, by the way.
That's a great song though.
It is a really good song.
But in all reality, like if you're in your mid-20s, late 20s, and you're still fucking going out there and partying and drinking and fucking hooking up with chicks, bro, throw that shit in the trash.
Or you'll end up in the trash. Like,
yes,
by your own actions. I'm not even saying like someone is gonna. You are going to end up with not much if that's the lifestyle you plan to live.
But just for your own soul, for your own self, like your own heart, bro. That's not good for you.
Absolutely,
it's toxic, draining, and just not beneficial for you at all.
It's not beneficial for you, and it's honestly a detriment to society as a whole. Because like you're dragging, like if you're the guy that's trying to get your friends to go to the bar every weekend, you're dragging them down. Even if they say no to you every time, you're dragging their spirits down because they have to deal with your ass inviting them to go to the bar every fucking weekend. And they feel bad because, you're friends and they don't want to tell you no, or if they do go out with you, then you're the asshole that dragged them out, had them spend a bunch of money on alcohol that really ended up hurting them physically because alcohol's not good for you. And, if it's a regular thing, that's a bad thing. If it's every now and then, it's one thing. But, like, if you're the guy that's trying to party every weekend, then you're that ain't it, bro. That ain't it.
That shit should be over by, like, 25, 26.
Once you're out of college, it's pretty lame. It's for the lames. You're a fucking loser.
Once you get like 25, like you should start like looking at shit differently. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely should. And as a man, that is when our brains fully develop. The frontal lobe finishes developing at 25. So it makes sense that most people don't grow out of that until they're 25. But honestly, the earlier you get out of that shit, the better.
The better. Yeah. I hear from someone, that developed a little bit late. So sorry, I didn't have like the right guidance. Like guidance I used to get was like, oh yeah, go out, have fun, enjoy your time.
Hey, but that's why we're here. We're trying to give you guys the right guidance.
That's right.
Granted, if you're listening to this, you probably already got some good guidance.
I hope
probably
so.
wouldn't be here if you had totally bad guidance, because most people that listen to podcasts already are doing something right.
That's right. Take it day by day, man.
Yeah, take it day by day.
Take it easy.
Oh man, that's actually a scripture. I can't remember which scripture it is, where in the Bible it is, but it's worry not for the troubles of the morrow, for sufficient unto the day is the evil therein. Yeah, that's in the Bible. I can't remember exactly where it is. You know what? I'm going to look it up so that I have the quote correct.
Shit,
I actually looked it up recently, so it should be in my history. It's Matthew 6:34. The King James Version is, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. That's the New King James Version. Where's the regular King James Version? Where is this? Why is the King... You know what? Matthew 6:34. Here it is. Okay, take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Matthew 6:34. Yeah. So, obviously, plan for the future, but don't be so stressed out about tomorrow that it drags down today or prevents you from accomplishing the things of today. That scripture is more about anxiety and worrying about things that are out of your control. You can't control tomorrow right now. You can only control today right now. You can only control right now. So do what you can today. Take it day by day. Obviously, act in a way that will enhance tomorrow, that will make it easier for you to deal with the evils of tomorrow. But don't try and solve tomorrow's problems today, because tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems.
Well said. Well said.
And you know what? I think we should leave it off there.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was a great episode.
Phenomenal. We were on track. I think this is one of our best episodes. Not gonna lie,
this is flowing.
It's a really good episode. Time flew.
I really hope you guys enjoy this one. This one's like super. It flew by really fast.
Fast. We were on topic. Fucking high five, bro. Fuck yeah.
Hope y'all learned some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we gave you a new lease on life today.
That's right.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, guys, again. Always happy to have you guys here. See you next time.
Peace.